What's up, Dragon Ball Super family? I'm here with this weekend's Top Cut Regional winner, Jonathan Lanza. He won this weekend with SS4 Gogeta, and he's probably the most up and rising competitive player we've got coming up. So, John, how did you feel about the event today, man?
It was honestly really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun games with a lot of good people. I met some new people as well, so I enjoyed it thoroughly.
That's dope, man. What were your matchups like? Give us a quick rundown of what you played against.
All right, so I remember four, mainly just because those were the ones that stood out the most to me. So I had two Majin Vegeta matchups, which I was not prepared for. But they were really good matchups, and it really came down to like that extra 5K combo that I had that they didn't, and I was able to beat them out there. And then I also had two, not expert 21s, the new 21, the Nature of Evil. I had two of those that I played against, and both of those also very tough matchups where I had to play pinpoint perfectly because if I misplayed at any point, I was going to be off by just a little bit and not able to beat them out. So
Dude,
definitely some rough and tough matches.
yeah, those are the super fun matches, though. Those are the ones that get your like blood flowing.
Oh
So I
yeah,
love
it
that.
definitely.
That's funny. I had a bunch of Majin Vegetas today as well, so I guess that deck has just taken off popular. It's also really affordable, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's great about it. I love the deck too.
Yeah.
I
All
have
right.
it built as well.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into this deck profile, man. Just
All
give
right.
us your rundown.
So pretty simplistic, you know. Gotta start with Goku's and Vegeta's, right? A pretty standard basic line. So you got four of basically every single one that you can run, and then I run two of this guy. So I
Oh,
know it's a little weird, right? Most people are like four of everything. I personally hate this card. I've seen it so many times when I don't want it or I don't need it because the deck cycles a lot, right? So I had a ton of bad hands today where I've had like nothing good in hand. And first of all, this card barely came up. I maybe discarded it twice to use its effect. And most of the time, you have your pieces. So 99.9% of the time, all I do with this card is turn one me, and then like let's say I go first or I go second, whatever. I just combo this off just to get another search on my opponent's turn. So that way I can look at the top three, maybe find another unison, and then I still have the awakening requirements met. But
yeah.
other than that, you know, you run 4 4 4 here and then 4 and 4 here.
Do you
Um,
did you find yourself playing that Arrival Vegeta a lot? I know a lot of people aren't playing that card at 4.
Yes, actually. I played this card a lot. So a lot of my matchups were like if I go aggressive early, I like to play this guy over this guy because although he draws and double strikes, he doesn't get a ton of value, and it's a lot easier to play this off because you have two one-drop targets or technically eight one-drop targets to play him. So it's a little bit easier to pull that off versus this guy. And then I also I use this guy's effect for the leader ability I think like twice, where I was able to go to like 35 double with him, and my opponent just couldn't combo out. And you obviously there's not a lot of effects that can stop the leader, so it was pretty useful.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that setup.
Yeah,
Do you ever find
I
yourself
know.
decking out in the deck?
Oh yeah. So blue is a wonderful color in the fact that it likes to help its opponent by making them bottom cards, especially Gamma. So they would just floodgate me, and I'd be like, okay, I have 15 cards in hand. That's neat. I'll just restock my deck with cards, so that way I
Yeah.
don't deck out and die. So some more basic stuff, obviously. So three of this guy. Some people run four. I find that you're really only ever playing one of this card. If you're playing more, you're probably not doing too hot, or the game's gone on too long. Four of the searchable super combo, because if you're playing anything else, you're wrong. This card is still good, and especially when you can just rip it off of top three here, top three off of Unison, draw it. You can search for it with the one drop Goku. I mean, like, there's no reason to run any other super combo.
Yeah, the synergy
Yeah,
seems obvious there. That's pretty good.
yeah. And then obviously the four Unison.
Yeah.
Don't
Do
run anything else.
you ever feel like the 8 drop was clogged in your hand at 3 copies?
Yes, I had a game where I had all three copies in my hand. I also had a game where I had all four copies of my Unison in my hand. I charged two of them.
Yeah. That one's bound to happen. And at least the 8 drop is
Yeah,
comboable, I suppose.
yeah. That's the nice thing, right? Having a boss monster that's not a 1 for 10 is huge because it's so beneficial. And then we get into some more utility cards. So these are the last of the battle cards that aren't limit ones and all that jazz. So 3 of the Gohan, because 4 is too much in this deck. You really, so you can get to 3, but you normally get to 3 at like turn 2, turn 3, depending on how much you combo, stuff like that. So he's not really great early. Most of the time I'm charging him if I don't have anything else to charge in hand. Broly, because Broly's good and people leave energy up, and sometimes even if you're a red player, right? Sometimes you just don't have anything to do, so you just leave 2 energy up, and then you can Broly your opponent, pull out maybe a Topo or something. Who knows?
That's
And
pretty cool.
then I hate this card, but it is useful sometimes. This is supposed to be Broly, the regional card. I don't have access to it, unfortunately. I didn't purchase it, and I never pulled it from my regional packs. But this card's useful in the fact that it's still a 1-drop. You draw a card, so it replaces itself, and then you can pay an additional into it to make it a 20k double strike, and you get to neg something 20, which can matter. I've used it a couple times at like locals, but I didn't use it at all in regionals. This is mainly like my side out card, just because it's I use it to fill my numbers. That way I had a little bit extra, so I can flex the deck if need be, which I did a lot.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, on that point, how many cards are you playing in the deck?
I think, gosh, I don't have the number.
That's
I think
okay.
it's around 53 to 54, because
Gotcha.
that's normally my number that I like to keep it at, because that's normally a feels good number.
Yeah. That's a neat
And
idea for
then
flexing the deck to have space. I like that.
yeah, especially in a best of one event, right? Like you don't really care because your side deck is an extension of your deck, so it allows you to put more cards in the deck basically and not feel bad about it. Uh, Obligatory extra cards. I do not run the Sparking Negate because in this day and age it just sucks, right?
Yeah.
Everything can get over it. Like a lot of things have barrier or protection, and negging 10 really isn't that impactful. I'd rather just sit at high life total the entire game, which I did multiple times in this tournament, and just wait for my opponent to hit me down because they're either going to hit me down or I'm still going to draw a crap ton of cards and kill them at 6 life, which I have done as well this tournament. And
That's a
then
that's a pretty cool, refreshing take on that. I see a lot of Gogeta players take like shotgun themselves down to 4 life using like the
there's
black
no
Vegeta
need.
card. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe sometimes, right? Like if you're trying to not get double striked and you want to get a token to gate out, I can see you go into 5 yourself. But there were a lot of games where I even held my Awaken to turn 3 because I had no reason to give them like my life, right? Because like I'm at 8, they're not hitting me, so I'm just not going to Awaken. I'm going to make them hit me to 6, so that way I don't take any extra damage.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool new take on that. I like that.
Yeah, you play red a lot, you learn some things. And then the obligatory one-ofs. So this is my spice, really. I love this card. It came up maybe like once or twice, like in the past. D-Magic, Imposing Presence, as you saw. This card counters it really well. It's just useful because sometimes people forget that this card even exists. So they'll take a life to play D-Magic, and then you do this. They don't attack. They took a life, and you're still hitting them. So it's just
That's
an
pretty
all-around
good.
useful card.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty good. This card is another, like the Goten, it's a flex spot. It's useful sometimes, not useful all the time. Against slower matchups, it's pretty useful because you can play it out pretty reliably. Make your leader a 20k, which can matter against, because you don't really Z awaken until you're hitting that emergency button.
Hmm.
So being able to be at a 20k against Z leaders that are natural 20ks makes it a little bit more even, makes it easier to combo out. This guy, I don't know why they unbanned it. Bandai, you're doing something wrong. This card is still broken.
Yeah, that card's kind of snap.
Uh, yeah, Yamcha because you have to, and then Vegito. I see some people arguing to play Vegeta. However, I think they forget one key thing that Vegito has that Vegeta doesn't, and it's protection, and it's also free, right? This costs me 0 mana. I just have to Overwhelm. It gets me 10k for my leader, so I'm protected into my next turn against most cards because Gamma plays 15k beaters or 20k beaters, and then this deck plays 20k beaters, so you're already at 25, so you're already above them. And it's just like it's so good. And then even if, let's say, for some ungodly reason, right, they both have deflect, right, and then this card is an on-play immediate effect, right? You're not getting rid of that effect. It's always happening. Because obviously you're turn player, so you're pinning out his trigger first before your opponents, blah, blah, blah. You get the effect of this immediately. You play Vegeta, you paid 4 energy, and you can't even swing with it, right? Because if you're swinging with Vegeta, you're dumb. because most of the time something will happen to it, it'll get its effects negated, and then you no longer have the effect of removing it, burning a life, and clearing the field. It's like, I don't care about clearing the field. The 8-drop does that. I don't need this to clear field. I have this for protection, and because I get to see your opponent's hand, which is super good in the game. That's why Broly got changed to where you had to pay for it, because it's super good, and it's still super good. Being able to look at your opponent's hand gives you so much advantage, and people just don't realize that. I think this is a much better choice than Vegeta. It's also
Uh,
cheaper.
I absolutely agree. I think SS4 Vegito right now is the perfect SCR for this deck. Did
Yeah,
uh
it's just too good.
did Yamcha ever come up this event for you?
A little bit. He's another kind of flex spot because some decks like Gamma, I normally side this out, and people are like, "Oh, why?" It's because stuff has barrier and deflect, so it doesn't really matter against that deck.
Hmm.
And I'd rather play a Gohan, the 4-drop Gohan that next 20 against their 20 drop versus playing this that doesn't even hit it.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense. That's cool.
normally I just side this guy out for those kinds of matchups.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go into the Z deck
That's the
before
main
we
deck.
go into the side
Yep.
deck. Yep.
So gotta rep my bread love, right? So I got 4 of Rush Attack Vegeta because once again this card's just broken.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say. The card's just too good. This card, it came up a lot more than I thought it would. Being able to burn your opponent from 4 to 3 is super huge because it makes token negates a little bit worse. It puts them to 2, which puts them in double strike range for any plethora of cards in your deck. Obviously, you run this, and then I run one of this. Some decks I've seen run 2. You don't really need to. Like, you go to 6 yourself, and then this puts you to 5, and then from there you just token negate. Like,
Yeah.
anything more than that's just pointless. But being able to pump 2 of these out in a turn, and then next turn do it again is pretty mean.
It's an
Pretty
insane
mean,
amount of
not gonna
pressure.
lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And
Cool.
then finally the side deck.
Hmm.
Oh no, these got mixed up. So 2 Koits, 2 Beer's Ball, 2 Mai. Geez, they're all mixed up. No, I have 2 Black Smokes. I'll fix that. 1 Gallic Cannon, 1 Vegito, and then like I said, 2 Black Smokes and 2 Cunnings.
All right. Well,
So
let's go over all of them. Like what
yeah,
matchups you bring him in versus and what you're really doing.
so Koitsukai, I'm gonna be honest, I brought it in a lot more. I would normally side out the Gotens for the Koitsukais just because a lot of decks nowadays play Floodgate or play counter plays on your turn. So you just play this and your opponent's losing cards in hand. I had one guy lose like 4 or 5 cards in hand.
That's
Not 4 or
brutal.
5, 4 or 6
You can't
because
recover
of
from that.
Koits.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, dude, it's especially since it warps. Oh, rough.
Yeah.
Shin, if you see Sin Shinron, or even in the mirror, going second, you just play this on your 3. On their 4, they can't do anything. Uh, so it's super good. Beer's Ball, because I hate blue and I hate yellow. So yeah, Beer's Ball. I was thinking about putting in peel-off missiles because your hand's normally big anyways, and most of the time you'll have Unison, but sometimes you don't. So this is just generally better.
Hmm.
Because once again, I hate blue.
Hmm.
Um, I will always, because why not, right? It's just a good card. It's better than the Raditz most of the time just because it has a barrier, which is a little bit of protection, keeps it a little bit safer. But normally I won't put it in the 21 matchup because it gets tapped and then they get extra energy for it. So there's no real point.
That makes sense.
Cunning, I sided it in. I didn't play it once. So it was a neat idea when everybody was talking about it and they're like, oh, you can do this. But Bean is no longer offensive, so it doesn't matter. And the 8-drop for Android 21 that untaps, if they play it, you're probably already losing. So stopping them from untapping probably won't make a difference.
That's fair.
This guy, mirror matches and just barrier removal. So this deck doesn't have any barrier removal other than the 8-drop Gogeta. And this is just your barrier removal right here.
Hmm.
I did play it a couple times. I actually played it in one game, and it won me the game against the yellow Majin Vegeta because I played it, and I was under Vegeta's effect where I had to tap something. So I played it, drew 2 cards, tapped it to attack with my Vegeta, and I double striked, and then I swung with leader, and then Z awakened, and he was dead.
Oh, that's
So
pretty cool.
pretty mint, pretty mint. What did Gallic Gun? It's just a random one of in case I see the Android 21 match like I did. I never really saw it in the matchup, unfortunately, because it's obviously one of, so it's a little bit hard to see. But it's used against when they play the Z card. You play
Oh,
this, and it kills it in window 2 because it next 15 the Z battle card. Because you're normally, if you're going second even, you can't play the Gohan. So you can't use the Gohan to kill it, and you can't use Yamcha because you won't have Unison at that time. So this is a way to kill it. It didn't really matter though, because like if they ramp, they ramped. You know,
hmm.
just keep cards off the field. That's something that I do that a lot of people I don't know if they do, but most of the time my field will have 0 battle cards on it because
That's
so
cool.
many decks nowadays rely on battle cards.
Hmm.
So I just get rid of them, combo them away, and use them for Z battle cards or something else.
Yeah, they become extra damage on your attacks. That's cool.
Exactly, yeah. So like, and plus since the leader is broken already and allows you to combo with rested cards, you can just swing, combo the last card that you attacked with, and now your other attack's bigger. It's
Yeah.
dumb. I don't know what they were thinking. And Vegito. It didn't come up
What is
at
it
all,
for?
but it's just fun. It's my favorite card. I played it in Red KP back in the days. It's just a fun card. If you're going first and you're going against literally anybody, you just pay 4 for this if you don't have anything else to do, and then you neg 2 and your opponent can't do anything on
Did
their turn 4
did it
because
ever come in?
no, it
Okay.
did not. It almost came in. Oh, that's right. I went against a Vegito deck, the red Vegito that was super popular back in the day. I went against that. I almost played this, but then I just top decked my Essien and I just killed him with that.
Oh, but it comes into the deck. It just you just don't play it.
Yeah. I put it in the deck a couple times because it can be used to burn, right? Like you can pay 5, neg 5, and burn them if they don't have battle cards.
That's pretty
And then
cheeky. I
it's
like that.
just like most decks nowadays require to pay for a skill to play a card. So if you can get this neg 2 off, your opponent's literally not going to do anything. Like they're going to pay 4 for a 15k
Yeah.
and then die because I'm going to do it again next turn. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
no thanks.
What about the Z deck?
Yeah, that's fair. They can play the Z deck.
Fair enough. But it's a cool. It's cool. It's a
Yeah.
throwback to what you used to play all the time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing your
Yeah,
deck
I think
profile
I
with
can get
us.
that.
You have
Yeah, no problem.
you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody before we close this out?
Yeah, obviously, shout out to Pro Play Games for letting me do this. I had a older video that I did back when Sin came out. It was a little bit not safe for content, so hopefully this one was. And I hope everybody enjoyed this one a lot more. Bandai, ban this, please. I'm tired of playing it. I want to play something else.
Yeah, we're tired of seeing the same red decks everywhere.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure people are tired of seeing this deck everywhere because
Yeah.
it's annoying. I definitely plan on retiring this after this. Now that I've won a regional, and I'm gonna start playing other decks.
All right.
Hopefully Yamcha when they release the Shinron, or not the Shinron, the Shinron
Yeah.
SCR. It's gonna be cracked. I'm gonna
Oh,
be playing Yamcha. It's gonna be great.
all right. Well, thanks again. For everybody else, we hope to see you guys at PPG's next event, hosted at MomoCon at Atlanta, Georgia. Congratulations again to Jonathan Lanza for winning this regional. See you guys next time.
Thank you very much.